All right. I don't know. It says that we might be.
It says we're live.
It does it now? Cause
it says on StreamYard, top left corner says live 13 seconds, where it didn't before. But I don't.
I have anybody in the chat? Can anybody confirm or deny that there is something going on here? I don't know. People might be in the other one.
And there is a stream that there is a stream up.
There is a stream up, but it's not the right
It's
stream.
not the one. It's not the stream that you had made.
No.
It's a brand new one.
It is definitely not. This is going to be one weird show. I had to use another program, guys. I'm sorry. Games Talk Live. Yes, it's still Games Talk Live, just a different program. Rand Al Thor 19 does not have a camera, so for some reason it wouldn't allow him to use the other program. So everybody implore him to get a camera so we can
it's not
get
happening.
around all this.
Blame me. Wouldn't let me into the call or whatever, and so we couldn't start it. And then basically because we're using old version of StreamYard, it couldn't connect to that stream that you had made, so you had to make a brand new one.
Yep.
So it's all my fault. I'm sorry, Fonz.
It's okay. Preparation all out the window. Who cares? I spent time working on that, everything about that, and it's all. No, I'm just kidding. Look, we're here. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. We're here. I'm looking through this to see if. Let me see if I can set something up really quick. I don't know what's going on. I really apologize, people. I see you guys in the chat. Some of you anyway, looking at all this stuff, man. Yeah. This is weird. This is really weird. So anyway, we are not live using the other program. We're just not. Okay. So anyways, let me get over this because I'm really confused. Let me tweet this out too. I got to tweet out the new link because again, it is a brand new stream. So sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me, folks. I'm sorry. This is all new to me. Got a shareable link.
This is what happens when you do a live show. Things can happen.
Yeah. So how have you been, man? Talk to the audience. Tell them how you've been. What have you been playing lately?
Lately, I've been playing some High on Life, which is definitely very divisive. The review scores, the user scores, the discourse around High on Life has definitely been. It's something else, man. It is something else.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. Is High on Life. I have not tried it yet, so I'm still playing through Callisto Protocol, trying to get that whole thing done and put away. Unfortunately. I just don't have time. I've not had time to game much at all this week. It being the holiday week, there's so much going on right now during the holidays. It's tough. It's tough to find the time. But High on Life, the critics were just like all over the place. A lot of people really panning the game, and a lot of it was due to, I want to say, it not being very PC, kind of vulgar. I don't know.
A lot of people don't like it because it's Justin Roiland's humor from Rick and Morty. Just a little bit more vulgar because he swears. Well, he still swears in Rick and Morty, but that's the thing. So if you are someone who finds the humor annoying or cringe, you're probably more than likely not going to enjoy it. But there is a very solid game underneath all that. Like, it's basically a Metroidvania Doom to a certain extent, right? There's a bunch of different guns you get, different abilities. So I think the game sort of starts off, you start off with like basically Morty from Rick and Morty, and it's like a pistol. And it's not really the best, but once you start unlocking some of the other guns and some of the other traversal abilities, the game becomes a lot better in my opinion. So I think for a lot of people, maybe it was on like, kind of like started off on the wrong foot, and they're like, "Oh man, I don't really like this gameplay. What is this game? You got trying to be in my face with this humor, this sophomore humor, this toilet humor, right?" And they don't really give the game, more than an hour chance. But I will say, like, it has definitely gotten better the longer you play and the more abilities you unlock.
Yeah, I've seen some people say that it gets better as you play.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a Metroidvania Doom. You unlock more abilities, new weapons, and you have kind of those shooting galleries. It's a very, very solid game. But some people, here's the thing, Fonz. There are a group of people out there that's whole entire personality will be to tell you how much they despise Rick and Morty and how much they think Justin Roiland is a hack. Right?
I actually know nothing of Rick and Morty. Never watched them. Never watched it.
It's a very, 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 very popular adult cartoon on Adult Swim that has a very big fan base.
Most adults, I would say most of Adult Swim just lost me. Like I was never there for that. Like I guess I was a little bit too old for that. I don't know. Like it seems like something that was hip for college kids and 20-somethings. I don't know. I think I was just past that. Andrew, real quick, Andrew with the $2 super chat says, "Old guys in technology." Exactly. That's what happened tonight. And I apologize for it. Apologize for that. Game On Daily, thank you very much. 15 months he's been a supporter. Thank you, Gaz. I appreciate you, man. He says, "Jim Ryan is the GOAT. He is now a pony, Rand."
Yeah.
You switched sides.
I'm not talking to Gaz right now.
Yeah, see? He's not talking to you.
I'm not talking to you guys. Don't ask me to come on Pony On Daily.
Not doing it.
I'm not interested. You need to get down on your knees and repent.
People are saying, he's just, one of these guys that's going to go back and forth. And forth.
I'm not surprised.
Because 2023, we might get we will get some bangers on Xbox, and he'll be back. Tail between his legs.
Just switching like, other people have, trying to get more clicks. Mm-hmm. We've seen it all before. You aren't slick. You aren't the first one to do this.
By the way, we've got the Magna Ainge Mom. I'm not sure how you say that. But anyways, $5 super chat. They say, "Finally, the man with the million again on GTL." Yeah, it's been a while, man. I haven't had you in a very long time.
It's been a while. I think I wasn't on when you were using your now you're using a new thumbnail style.
Yeah.
And then you did another new art thumbnail style, but I definitely haven't been on since you switched to that other website because I couldn't access it.
Exactly. But it's so much nicer because I can do 1440p, 60 frames, and this is just... StreamYard. It's whatever. It's 720p. It's trash, but it is what it is. The audio is not very good, but, we're going to make do with it. Everybody, I'm sorry that I can't put your super chat up. I don't know. I think we can do that here. I think we can still do that. Yeah, there it was. Okay, so I can. All right, good, great, grand, love it. Okay, people, but yeah, High on Life. It's looking pretty. It looks like a game that I would find kind of funny. It's vulgar and stuff, but I've seen some of the jokes that people have, some of the scenes and stuff people have posted. I thought it was pretty funny. Some people that critique the game pretty harshly are just. I don't know. They're stick in the muds. They have no humor. I don't know what to tell you about that. But, it's funny. There is a section in the game, I guess, where you can, like, go to the living room and there's a TV and an actual movie playing on that TV. And you can watch the whole movie, apparently. And it's Tammy and the T-Rex, by the way.
With Paul Walker and Denise Richards, yes.
Yeah. And the funny part about that is I went to look up to see if it was a real movie. And I saw the trailer on YouTube, And as I read the comments in the YouTube comments for that trailer, 5 years ago, somebody wrote, wow, this trailer was done in a style that sounds like Rick and Morty would have wrote it. That's pretty interesting that 5 years ago this was written, and now it's in a video game, and it's got, written by the people that made Rick and Morty or whatever. That's pretty funny. That's pretty crazy.
I watched a little bit of it. I think I watched like 10 minutes of it.
It's
just
horrible.
Kind of just like watch. Just like, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
but
it's dumb.
It fits. It's a game that's also been quite popular. I noticed that Benji Sales had tweeted out that it's gotten as high as number 4 overall on the most played Xbox games list.
Really?
Only behind Modern Warfare 2, Fortnite, and Grand Theft Auto 5. So It's ahead of like Overwatch, it's ahead of Roblox, it's ahead of Apex Legends, which are, free to play games. This probably one of the best, better if not the best, like single player only Game Pass launch.
Yeah.
And it is exclusive currently. I mean, it's on PC, but not on PlayStation. Probably who knows when it's coming, but people seem to be enjoying it. It's also doing pretty well on PC. I saw it was like number 2 best-selling game on Steam for the past week. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hype surrounding it, and I would imagine a lot of the discourse drove some of that. Like everybody talking about on Twitter whether or not they liked it or whether or not they absolutely despised it because of cringe humor. It probably had a lot of people checking out the game regardless,
Yeah. If somebody could take care of hot girls free, I'd appreciate it. It's crazy, but those cam girls just follow you everywhere on every podcast, man. It's crazy.
They stopped following me on the Xbox 2 when I made the chat subscriber only.
Bro,
and you can set like a timer, so I have like a set for subscriber only for 15 minutes. So those bots not only have to subscribe to your channel, then they have to wait 15 minutes before they can actually say something in chat. And if they do, you just ban them anyways.
But you're alienating a big audience out there who may not want to subscribe.
Well, then they can still watch. They just can't chat.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. How is the Xbox 2 doing with Mr. Jez Corden of Windows Central fame?
I mean, it's doing well. We started a Patreon recently, which has done pretty well, and now the podcast is ballooned to like 4 hours long.
Dude,
with all the different things
I've been seeing that.
We're talking about like questions and stuff. I have such a great time doing the show with Jez, interacting with everybody in the chat.
How do you put up with his awful taste in food? Holy crap.
I just kind of tune him out when he talks about food.
Dude.
I just was like, no, I'm not listening.
Beans
to this.
on everything and disgusting. Mayo on everything. I don't know. He's got a weird culinary taste. I saw some weird southern dish the other day, and I put it up there. It had like these peach halves with a dollop of mayo in the middle of the peach, and then sprinkled on top with some cheese. And I sent that to him, and he didn't even respond. I guess, he thought it was normal. I don't know. But it's disgusting. And other people responded, and they were like, that's gross. And I'm like, yeah, it is. But Jez may like it.
Just because Jez is disgusting, right? You just got to realize that about him. He's very disgusting when it comes to food.
Yeah. No. But anyways, any new big rumors going on? What's happening right now?
New big rumors.
Yeah.
There's a rumor there's a rumor that Gaz is a pony now.
That's known.
Well, I guess that's not much a rumor. That's just true.
What is your? Well, look, we just had the Game of the Year awards. What is your Game of the Year this year? What is your personal?
Do you even need to ask?
Yes, I need to ask it.
You know what Game of the Year is, baby. My Game of the Year was none other than Elden Ring.
Of course.
Head and shoulders above every other game. Wasn't even close. I thought there would be
Thought
at
so.
least some competition between Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok, but at the end of the day, there wasn't.
Do you feel like this generation has started kind of slow? Because for me, it's like I feel like we haven't really even gotten started, and with all the cross-gen games and stuff, and now you're starting to see current gen games come out, but nothing looks or feels like I thought it would this gen as of yet.
I mean,
I don't know. I was
what is
hoping
that?
for
Isn't there a thing called like well, you got the whole diminishing return stuff. So like every
Mm-hmm.
generation the graphics are only the jumps are going to be less and less, between every generation going forward. So yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a next gen game, and even like the next gen games that we have seen were all basically started as cross gen games anyways for the most part. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the games look like 4 years from now.
it's not necessarily the look; it's more the feel for me. It's like we're taking a step back with this whole 30 frames again.
Well, I mean, we've only had two of those so far, Fonz.
And
I wouldn't call it a trend just yet.
Okay, it's not a trend, but we're seeing more games being made heavily relying on the CPU side. And it seems like that's the bottleneck of these consoles when it comes to, frame rates and stuff. And it seems like the more they push for games being made that way. I mean, look at Gotham Knights. Nothing about it looks revolutionary at all.
Nothing about it looks next gen. Yeah,
no,
that's for sure.
And the game is 30 FPS.
And it struggles to hold 30. It doesn't even hit 30. It can't even hold 30 in the open city. But that's because they wanted to have ray tracing. They also wanted to hit 4K. I'm sure there's a way that they could have it run at 60 without ray tracing and knocking the resolution down to 1440p or something. But I guess we'd have to see like what some of the games are gonna, what their frame rates are gonna be for next year. These kind of next gen or current gen only games, to see if 30 frames really, if we'll see the return of the dreaded cinematic 30.
Oh, filmic.
The filmic 30, which I hope we don't. I know you've kind of talked about it, like, will Starfield be 30? Or will Starfield have a performance mode to give you 60? Me and Colt have been going back and forth. Colt thinks it will have a performance mode. That'll be 60. I'm less positive about that. I think Starfield's just going to be straight 30. And if you want to play it on 60, you're going to have to go to PC to play it.
Oh, Dead Time says something pretty interesting in the chat. He said, CPU based because they're developing it like last gen games, not using what they have right now and working for older hardware. And and they're working for older hardware, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't make much sense, especially when, you get a game like Gotham Knights and it's not cross-gen. It makes no sense,
See, look at Gaz in chat.
Man, Gaz, he says Returnal will run smoother than Starfield. PlayStation wins.
Yeah, except nobody played Returnal. Really.
Yeah, it's...
Unfortunately. Great game.
You know what?
In fact, you know what, Fonz?
I'm going to take him off my Xbox friends list.
I got a hot take for you.
Go ahead.
Returnal is the best PlayStation exclusive this gen so far.
What?
I said it. I said it.
What?
It's the best
How?
one. I mean, it's the only real competition's God of War Ragnarok.
Okay. For me, God of War Ragnarok's probably the best this gen. Because honestly, Horizon Forbidden West, no, that's just no. It's not good. It's boring. But Returnal is a roguelike. Like, who likes those, Rand?
I mean, I like some of them. I'm just saying, if you had to rate all the exclusives.
But that's funny though, Rand, that you say that, because that's unlike their usual, normal, typical Sony game.
It is because it's more reliant on gameplay and less
Rather
reliant
than
on
narrative.
shoulder or on the third person
Yeah.
over the shoulder stuff. I just yeah, I don't know. I just when I was just so into Returnal when I played it, bro. Like I kind of know life that game. I was beating stuff. I beat all the bosses first time, like didn't die. And I just had so much fun playing through that game where there were parts where I was playing through God of War Ragnarok where I was, dare I say it, bored. I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't like. Oh,
There definitely was some parts, especially gameplay wise. Like, who wants to pick fruit? Who wants to pick fruit in a game?
I don't mind. See, that's the thing. I don't.
I
mind,
like the narrative there.
I don't mind that section if it was like literally half the length. Like you can pick fruit, but like they make you pick fruit for what seemed like an hour almost. It's like, dude, cut. That was the thing I said.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the thing I said on Xbox 2 when I was talking about God of War Ragnarok. I said one of the problems with everybody in a rush to give a game a 10, right? A lot of people view a 10 as a perfect score or a perfect game. I don't. Like 10 to me is not a perfect game. It's kind of the masterpiece of a genre. But everybody was like falling over themselves to give God of War 2018 a perfect score, right? And so developers will use the reviews and use feedback to kind of like, okay, what do we need to change? What do we need to fix? What do we need to improve for the sequel, right? But there wasn't a lot of critiques of God of War 2018 outside of perhaps not enough boss fights, right? Because you only really fought Baldur.
Yeah.
So they have a lot more in this one, right? Variety of boss fights. The side missions, there really weren't any. So you got a really lot of side missions in this one that are excellent. And all the trolls you fight, they're all just 10 different colors. And you don't even really fight trolls in this one. So you have the enemy variety is much more. But like the story stuff and the pacing and the puzzles, they weren't, I don't think...
It's good.
Well, I don't think people told them how like the God of War story and everything surrounding all that stuff was like the best thing ever. So when they were building the sequel, it was like, okay, we know some of the feedback we need to improve. Everybody said the story's amazing, so we don't really have to kind of do anything there. We can just do what we would do for a sequel, make it bigger, better, badder, right? All that stuff. But the Ragnarok ended up bloated. Like there was things they should have cut.
I felt that way.
There was things that they clearly leaned into that should have been cut for time's sake or for pacing sakes or puzzles that they should have gotten rid of, but they didn't because nobody really complained about it in the first one, and they knew that nobody would like. So it was one of those things where it's like in your rush to really tell a developer that their game is perfect and doesn't have flaws, you end up with a situation with the sequel where they should have known, okay, well, we need to keep this a tight experience. So when I was playing through Ragnarok, I was like, I really liked the game. The combat was so much fun. Story was great, but there were just moments where I was playing it, I was just like, I am just really bored. And that is just not something I thought I would say when playing through the sequel to what I thought was like maybe the second best game of last generation, maybe third, depending on how I feel at a certain point in time.
It's funny you say that because I agree with you 100%. I think it had a pacing issue, especially at the beginning of the game. The first 10 hours of the game, Rand, it had pacing issues, in my opinion. There was just way too many sections of puzzles and walking around where you were doing no combat whatsoever. And it seemed like the combat was just fleeting. If you were just doing the main campaign, that's the way it felt. And that's what I was doing at the beginning, was mostly just the campaign. And after about that 11th hour, it started to pick up and it got really good. And I was like, why couldn't the first 10 hours be this good? And by the way, I have to say I was laughing while you were talking because Gaz, he says the fruit picking section was better than the entirety of the Xbox in 2022.
That's funny. Can you imagine if he actually meant that though, like legit?
Oh, Gaz, oh man, yeah, that's something that certain people in the community would say, and be serious about it. And I would say some names here, but I'll refrain. It's supposed to be a positive show today. Thank you very much, the Magna Angemon. He says, hit that like button. 4 hours is a bit too much for me, but Rand is awesome. Rand, where in Chicago are you located? Oh, man,
he wants the secret Batcave location, huh?
We can't give you the secrets.
Southern suburbs, let's just say, of Chicago.
South side.
The south side. The south side.
South side.
Yeah,
That's where
I
he's
know
at.
4 hours not for everybody, but we have implemented timestamps. So if there are sections that you want to skip or sections that you really want to listen to, you can just immediately find those. You know, if you want to hear me and Jez talk about, you mentioned earlier, Fonz, rumors, Xbox Showcase rumors and stuff like that, right?
Boy.
Yeah, the God of War thing.
Be positive.
I was just saying, because I was thinking, I was just like, man, right? 2 years in, I played almost all the PlayStation exclusives except for Horizon, mainly because I didn't play Horizon Zero Dawn, so I wasn't going to play Forbidden West.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay,
I
so
played,
let me tell you something. Horizon Zero Dawn is a decent game. I liked it. I enjoyed it. However, the parts I don't like about it, number one, Aloy is a bit boring in it, and so is a lot of the dialogue and story beats, but it's not too much. Now, they took all that boring stuff in Horizon Horizon Zero and put it in Horizon Forbidden West and doubled down on it and made them even longer. Like they said, okay, you don't like the way Aloy is? Well, we're going to make her even more boring. And guess what? The people around her, they're going to talk a lot and you're going to listen. And there's just sections of the game where I'm sitting there talking to one person for like a good 5 minutes. And then they have you go talk to somebody else for a good 5 minutes. Then they have you go talk to somebody else for another good 5 minutes. By the time it's 25 minutes in, you haven't done any kind of combat at all. And you're like, I'm ready to do something. And it's just, I've struggled with that game. I've tried to play it like 3 times, and really get into it for, an hour, 2 hours. And I just can't finish the game. I can't do it. It's boring.
Yeah, so I didn't.
It's really boring.
I think I played the first one for a couple hours and I just wasn't feeling it at the time, so I stopped. So it's like, all right, at some point I do want to go. I do want to play it, and I want to play the sequel, but I don't know when that'll be. So I was thinking of like, okay, I played them all.
I would never tell you not to.
I played them all except Gran Turismo 7 because I don't really care for sim racers. And I was just in my mind, I was just like, okay, where would I rank all these?
Mm-hmm.
And like I just kind of came out with like, I think my favorite one is Returnal.
Yeah.
I think it was the one I had the most fun with.
I can't fault you for that. I mean,
and like God of War would be number 2, but yeah, I was kind of surprised because if you'd have asked me 2 years ago, I'd be like, oh, it's God of War Ragnarok all day, right? But Returnal, there was just something about Returnal that I really, really, really enjoyed.
If I had to pick a game that I've played on the PlayStation 5, and it's a last gen game, but I waited until it was Miles Morales. I think for me, Miles Morales was short, but it was fun the whole way through. I had a blast with it. I like it better than the first Spider-Man game. I like it better than 2018 Spider-Man. I just like his movesets better, his mechanics, everything. Like just his combat style is more fun to me than
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, I enjoyed Miles too. You know what's interesting? PlayStation did their wrap up, right?
Yeah.
So I did mine and I posted it, and I had like 77 hours, like 48 of that on Ragnarok and 21 of it on Sifu, which is another game I loved, and like 5 on Stray. So I basically only played 3 games on PlayStation this year. But I only played 2 last year. It was like Returnal and Ratchet, right? And so I posted it, and bro, you wouldn't believe some of the salty comments I got from PlayStation fans in my replies being like,
yeah, why?
This is embarrassing. You only play 3 games on PlayStation. Or, imagine spending $500 to only play 3 games and then actually play everything on a console that doesn't have any games, right?
Okay, but you're playing multiplats on the.
I know.
Other
I was just kind of like,
so
listen. I knew buying the PlayStation. It's my secondary console.
Yeah,
its only use is literally only the exclusives. And guess what? They don't come out that much or that often. So I was like, yeah, I know. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on the PlayStation 5
Makes
because
sense.
every other game that comes out, I'll be playing on Xbox because of the superior controller, right? Because achievements are a million times better than trophies. And I just like playing everything on Xbox.
You hear that, Gaz?
Yeah.
You hear that?
Anti-gas tonight.
Anyway. No, but seriously though, I'm in agreement because last generation I played more PS4 than I did Xbox One. It wasn't until the One X came out that I switched over, and that was because of that power. And of course, you're going to play the multiplats where that power
what
is.
Was that Xbox power?
Xbox power, yeah. Anyways, I totally understand that for people that are making fun or making light about that. You only play 3 games on a console. Well, you know what? There's always your main console that you play multiplats on and play with your friends and all that stuff. And then there's the consoles you buy for the exclusives. And right now for me, the PlayStation 5 is nothing but exclusive central. I've not played one multiplat on there yet. So, I mean, that's the way it is. And Hargeet Shani sends me $5 and he says, wait, they actually make you pick fruit? You're Kratos picking fruit? Okay. Do they make you pick flowers too? Do you wear a tutu and dance? No, you're, man, I don't know if it's any secret or whatever, but you play as Atreus in the game as well. And you pick fruit as Atreus. So, if I spoiled something, I apologize, but
no, Kratos ain't picking no fruit for a while.
Yeah, Kratos ain't picking.
And you want to know how
damn
many
fruit.
games I played on Switch this year? 0.
Me neither. Have not played.
I don't even have it hooked
I haven't
up.
touched the Switch.
I don't even have mine hooked up, bro.
Years.
Yeah,
it's that bad.
But you want to know something? I actually played more exclusives on PlayStation than I did on Xbox this year. Oh,
really?
Well, yeah, because I only played As Dusk Falls and Grounded. I tried Pentiment and I turned it off after like
really
3 hours.
Good, man. I enjoyed that story so much. I played it twice. I played through it twice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, As Dusk Falls was quite good, and me and Cold Eastwood had an amazing time playing through Grounded. I think we played it for like 50
I heard,
hours.
man. I saw you guys late at night. You guys would be playing that game together. Yeah. I don't know what you guys would be talking about. Industry secrets and all that stuff.
You know everything.
Yep. So, I'm looking forward to next year. I mean, look, this is what it's all about. 2022 was not a great year for Xbox. You're right about that, Gaz. However, we're looking forward. We're looking in a more positive direction, and we want to talk about the good stuff, the stuff that we are going to be excited about. These games that are being produced right now, are being made. If you want to hear me rant on all things Xbox and what I was upset with them about, listen to last week's episode with Colt. Me and him really went in. This week, I don't want to really do much of that, Rand. I just want to be positive about this situation. There are games coming. PlayStation, however, has already mentioned that they have Spider-Man 2 coming in the fall of next year. And also Bluepoint just out of nowhere says, yeah, we're making a game too. And people are speculating it's going to be the Metal Gear Solid remake. What say you on that?
I mean, I think it's there's been rumors surrounding that for a while. I mean, it's possible. Sony's very much about hitting that nostalgia point.
Yeah.
For getting the exclusivity on the Final Fantasy VII remakes, right? Getting exclusivity on Silent Hill 2, getting exclusivity on Knights of the Old Republic remake, right? They're trying to go for, people our age who played a lot of these older games and being like, this is the system that you need. So yeah, I mean, I could easily see Bluepoint, Sony basically funding a Metal Gear remake, which would be huge. I could easily see them because it kind of fits in with their strategy of like remaking these classics that people love from a couple generations ago, So I could see that happening. Yeah, I could 100% see that being a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But when it comes to Xbox, let's talk about Xbox. So far, we know Redfall,
right,
and Starfield coming next year.
Yep.
I don't foresee those games being delayed next year. Okay, so if the games get delayed at all, which there's no real concrete date put out there right now anyway, I think you might get a small move from like, the first quarter to the second quarter or third quarter, something like that maybe. But I think they will come out next year for sure. I don't see a problem with that.
I agree with you. Well, Mac Bound says Forza ?
Yeah, what's up with Forza or Forza? I should say. Where's Forza at? Why have we not seen anything really on Forza? We saw very little last year, and then it was like quiet. It's been quiet for many months.
I mean, they're making the game. They're busy making the game. They did say that they'll be showing a lot more in early 2023, not only from Forza Motorsport, but also the new DLC from Forza Horizon 5 as well. So,
what's up with that anyway? What is going on with this? Are we having a show early in 2023? What is Aaron alluding to when he says we have more soon? Like what? Or is this
I think there's going to be a show. I don't know if there's a show, right? But I've heard whispers. People have DM'd me. I've talked to people who are like, I'm hearing some things. But nobody's like said to me, this is 100% happening. It's locked in or whatever. Just like, there's some smoke. Because I did say, so we did the podcast after the Game Awards, and when it was pretty apparent Xbox had nothing to show at the Game Awards, I was disappointed, but I don't let my emotions like rule me like Gaz does, the trader, right? Ooh. Where it's just like he lets his emotions get the better of him and lets him rule everything about him, so he can go out there and tweet and say horrible things, right? It's like I was disappointed for like a couple minutes, and I was like,
couple minutes, yeah.
I'm with life. Got some books to read, some TV shows to watch, some games to play. I'm not gonna let it affect like how I feel. Like I'm not gonna go moping around my house being like, "Fucking Xbox, man, what are they? This is horrible." Like whatever. It's just like it was disappointing because I wanted to see more of Redfall and I wanted to see more of Starfield, right?
Yeah.
And it was like they have the big audience. Like Jeff posted that he had 100 million viewers, which is like more than the Oscars, and it's like. You have a lot of people who aren't Xbox fans tuning in, and then like they get the impression that Xbox ain't doing anything because they didn't show anything, right? So I was like, all right. And the fact that in recent history, they've been at the Game Awards with huge announcements, announcing the Series X and the S with Hellblade 2, and then showing off Perfect Dark for the first time, and then showing off Hellblade 2's gameplay for the first time. So in the recent years, you've come to expect Xbox to show something. And you're just coming off of what most people would consider the worst first-party year ever, where they didn't have much, and they were quiet for most of the year for different reasons. It was like they showed up at E3, and they're like, all right, later, see you next year, right? And they pieced. So people are like, all right, now's the time. We're going to see some more Redfall. We're going to see some Starfield, know when they're going to come. And they didn't. So I thought to myself, the only way it makes sense to skip the Game Awards is if you have a show of your own relatively soon after, right?
Yeah.
Because they have like 5 games launching between now and E3 next year, Fonz. They got Redfall, they got Starfield, they have Aura History Untold, which is a PC game, they have Minecraft Legends, and they have Forza Motorsport. All first party, all supposed to be launching before E3, right? So it's like, when are you going to show more of those games? Because Redfall isn't a small game. It's a game by Arcane. It's going to be pretty big. And then you have, like, perhaps, and I'm not going to mince words here, Fonz, probably the biggest game Xbox is putting out since Gears in 2006. The biggest new IP since basically Gears of War, right?
Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
What? Oh,
yeah. I think I hear it. I think I hear it. Do you hear that?
Take me on a journey, Fonz.
Starfield. Starfield, the biggest game that you'll play next year. Starfield, quite possibly the biggest game there will be ever. Starfield, travel to distant planets. Travel and make bases on those planets. Breed on those planets. Okay, maybe not breed. But there will be romance. Starfield, shoot stuff, kill stuff, loot stuff. Starfield, amazing game. We will be there day one. I will be there to play this game. So will you. It'll shut down every other game around it. Do not release a game around the same time as Starfield. Starfield in your face. Starfield will be the best game of the year. It will be the game of the year 2023. And it will be the game of the generation. The power of Bethesda compels you. The power of Bethesda compels you. Let it consume you. Starfield. All right. Okay. I'm out of that. All right. What happened?
I don't know. Someone came in here and was
Jeez.
talking about Starfield, and
Jeez.
Anthony
What
Greenwood in
happened?
chat says, you guys need to stop hyping this game up. Y'all know nothing about it. Stop hyping it up, Fonz.
I got tired, man. What? Whoa, I blanked out. What? I got to watch that back.
You dipped out for a couple minutes. There was some music playing and everything.
Damn. Anyways. Yeah. Starfield sounds like it's going to be a great game. I'm hyped for Starfield, bro. I think it is going to be one of Xbox's. It is Xbox's biggest new IP in many years. So, yeah. Fun speculation says that Fonz was possessed for a minute by God Howard, and I think that's true. I think he possessed me.
It's certainly possible. So,
jeez,
you gotta. So it's like, to me, it's like you have these games, and it's just like you have to show them in some manner soon if they're launching soon. Plus, we know that Xbox hired Tina Meany, who used to be the former editor-in-chief at IGN, to run that like programming division that's supposed to create more like digital events and stuff. And Xbox is on the cusp of like actually having more games per year. So it's like you can't just do only E3 anymore. Like,
wow,
you have the games for it. So to me, it's like it makes all
don't
the sense.
you? Okay, but I know you're saying it makes total sense that they don't show anything there to if they have something on their own. But why didn't they say that they have something coming up so people can be warned about that? Because people were expecting at least one more thing, man. At least one thing shown there by Xbox, because you have millions upon millions of gamers watching that show. So
I thought about that, and it could just be simple, like professional courtesy to Jeff, not to like downplay the show. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I agree with you, because it's like, if you knew, they had to have known people were expecting to see something, and then so it's like you could easily have managed expectations, but you didn't. Just like they did in at E3. Everybody's like, what's going to be there? And nobody was like, oh, they're only going to do a 12-month thing. Like, if you would have told people beforehand that's what you were going to do, people could have been like, oh, okay, now I know what to expect. Same thing with the Game Awards. So, yeah, I mean, I think it makes all the sense in the world for Xbox to have event late January, early February,
do you think they're going to keep in with this whole 12-month thing, so they're just going to show games 12 months
out? I don't know. They could. I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me that liked that, because I don't need to see games 4 years out or 3 years out. But I also
like to be hyped too.
But I also want to see some things that are a couple years away. I guess it just really depends on the games that are supposed to be coming in the next year.
Dude,
right?
I wanted to see Avowed so bad.
No, everybody wants to see Avowed.
Because if there's one game besides Starfield that really gets me excited, it's Avowed. Avowed, Obsidian, man, come on. This is going to be a great RPG. Xbox is going to have a plethora of RPGs, Western RPGs. Amazing stuff. I can't wait to play that, Avowed. Hargeet Chani, that is slander, sir. That is slander. He says Game of the Year 2023 is going to be Zelda.
Well, I mean...
No, it's Starfield.
I hate to agree with the guy that never ever shows up to my podcast.
It's Starfield.
Uh-oh.
Starfield. Yeah, Starfield. It's
He's
Starfield.
probably right, though. I mean, Game of the Year, if you're talking about who's going to win the Keeleys, it's probably Zelda.
Yeah, but the Keeleys don't really even matter, especially since they had Stray as a nominee last year.
What a joke.
Or this year.
What
like,
a joke.
Stray
I
was
played
just,
Stray, and at no point was I like, yeah, this is a Game of the Year material.
dude,
You know?
like not at all. I don't know. At first I thought they put that in there as just like a joke. And I was like, okay, all right, you put it in there. You want to play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes because I'm going to vote for Stray in every category that it's in. And that's what I did. And I was hoping other people would have done that too. And I was hoping for some reason Stray would have won. That would have been fun.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been great. You know, how mad would people have been? All the Sony guys would have been pissed. Like, it's God of War.
I mean, aren't they mad anyways because it was Elden Ring?
Yeah, but it's different. It would have been.
I mean,
well,
Elden Ring...
actually, no, they wouldn't have really been mad because Stray was an exclusive to their console. So,
I mean, Elden Ring not only blocked God of War from winning Game of the Year, it also basically stopped anybody from talking about Horizon Forbidden West after a week. Remember how?
No, I know.
Remember how people were like talking about Horizon, and as soon as Elden Ring dropped, you didn't hear a peep about that game anymore.
It's because Elden Ring was a phenomenon, man.
True.
Seriously, it took over. Like, most gamers that never even played a Souls game. I mean, I never played Souls, the franchise Souls, but I've played Bloodborne before, and I've played some other games from them. But the Soul series, never played it. But this game, like, it just captured everybody's attention for like 2 months. It was just insane. Everybody was playing it, talking about it, and raving about it. Even Colt and Dealer were playing the game.
I know.
And they're not big Souls fans. So
I couldn't believe Colt was playing it.
Yeah, and he was having a good time. He didn't beat it, but neither did Zocker. And Zocker claims it's his favorite game of the generation, and he's never even beat it.
How can you say that?
He's okay. Zocker, I'm sorry I'm throwing you under the bus because, why not? Anyway.
Zocker is a toddler.
He says
Regulators?
Oh my God, the Regulators. Yeah. Anyways, he says that the game itself is one of the best games he's ever played. He loves the open world. He loves everything about it, and he can't bear to beat it because he doesn't want to beat it.
What a bunch of horse shit.
He wants it to keep going, and so he's not going to beat it until there's DLC. So that's what he
Imagine saying, "Oh my God, I love this movie so much," or "This is my favorite movie," but you still have like an hour and a half to watch of it.
Yeah, I don't believe it, because if you really love something, you'd be playing it to its
your
completion.
game of the year, but you didn't even bother to finish it? Come on now.
There you go.
Regulators.
Mount up.
Yep, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, the man can't even say regulator right.
Regulators.
Mount up.
No, I'm just kidding. He slipped up there, and we caught it, and there it is. But anyways, it's his favorite game, and look, he does like the game. He had a lot of fun with it. I don't know what happened there at the end. He claims he wants to prolong the game. I myself couldn't put it down until it was over, and when it was over, I became Elden King or whatever, and I just sat there and I was like, this was good, this was fun, and walked away from the game, and it was a great time. And then I asked him, did you beat it? No. And then, gave him a hard time. Still do, but whatever. It's over. But what are you looking forward to most in the future for games? Like for you, like it could be anything, Xbox, PlayStation.
Number one most anticipated game right now for next year is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
That does look really good. And can you tell Ashtray Gaming to play that damn game, the first one? Because he refuses.
Ashtray, come on, play it, bro.
He refuses to play it.
60 frames on the console, because I think they patched it. So, when it originally first came out, I ran at 30, which was like, oh, but it was still like such a great game.
It was a great game. It was a great game. It really shocked me how good of a game that EA made that was single player, Star Wars, and just it was fun.
But it was Respawn.
The narrative was good. Well, yeah, it was Respawn. So yeah, of course. But I don't like the map. I didn't like the map, and I hope that they do make changes there for the second game.
Yeah, I hope they allow some fast travel and stuff, because going back through the maps was kind of a pain in the ass when you wanted to backtrack for stuff. But I really, really like the first one. So like the sequel, like I'm there. Like there's so many games like Fonz. We got January. We got Dead Space remake, and I'm so incredibly excited for that. I haven't played Dead Space since like 2009 when it first came out. You have like Harry Potter, if you're into that, Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm not into Harry Potter.
I don't know if it's going to be any good, but I'm sure.
You know what it is for me in this game, for real? It's the whole wand aspect. That's what you fight with. Yeah. So you're like, frittata, and like no, it looks silly.
Leviosa. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know what they say.
You got Redfall, which Arcane has not let me down yet. So I think Redfall's going to be
You really
great.
like Arcane?
I love Arcane.
See, I don't.
I love them.
I don't.
I beat Deathloop twice. I played Deathloop day one on PlayStation.
Oh my god!
Beat it.
I tried to play it, and I think it's just bad.
And then I think it's Dishonored 1 and 2 are amazing.
Let me explain myself about what was the last game they brought out? I just forgot about it. You just mentioned it. Deathloop. It's roguelike, and I hate that. I hate going through the same thing over and over. It's just it's annoying.
Sure.
And I don't feel like their combat is very fluid either. I don't like the gun. I don't like the gunplay very much. And I was talking to Colt about this. I'm not a big fan of it, and that's what kind of worries me a bit about Redfall in a way. Is I've never been a fan of their gunplay. I've never been a fan of how it feels to control it. But I'm looking more forward to Redfall than I have any of the other games for sure, because there are other games like what was it? Those Dishonored games. Not a fan, because most of their games they push you to do a lot of stealth. Even Deathloop, you could run and gun, but it wasn't great.
That's one of the reasons why I love it, because I love stealth.
Yeah,
you don't get a lot of stealth games.
There you go.
And look at
Shani, holy crap!
Gee, dropping bombs.
Dropping a big one here. He says, "Happy holidays!" $100 super chat. You've been very kind to me this year, Hargy. You did not have to drop that like that, but thank you, man. You are a good friend. You're an awesome guy. He says, "Happy holidays, Happy New Year." Evil West, Global Code, right there. Pick it up, guys. Evil West is a game I have not tried, and I definitely will try it eventually. But a lot of people out there were complaining about it. I guess it had some issues, camera angles and stuff like that weren't very good. But I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. But
yeah. And then continuing on with the games.
So Arcane, you're looking forward to Redfall.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking at Redfall. And then March you have Star Wars, and then Resident Evil 4. Oh my god. Like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 are my two favorite Resident Evil games. And I adored the remake for Resident Evil 2. And the fact that they're doing it for 4, I cannot be more excited for that. And then you got Suicide Squad. I'm a big fan of Rocksteady, so I'm very interested in what they're going to do with that. Diablo 4, and and Starfield probably around that time. I mean, that's just the first 6 months. There's a lot, not to mention Spider-Man 2 at the end of the year. Insomniac is a very efficient developer, very great at what they do.
Oh, one of the best, man. Yeah. Holy crap. For people out there, I saw somebody say, it'll get delayed into 2024. I highly doubt it with Insomniac. I doubt it. Those games that development team pushes out games like no other. They are really, they're Sony's best team by far, I believe. Congrats, Tom. He picked up the code in the chat, so he was able to get that Evil West game. Congrats,
That's pretty
man.
awesome. That is pretty awesome.
That's nice of Hargeet. Always pumping codes out there to people and stuff. Honestly, it's Christmas time, people. You know, it's holidays. If you celebrate, you know, I hope you guys have a great Christmas and everything. But Hargeet's just very, very generous, and it's awesome to see him do stuff like that for people. It's amazing. Anyways, yeah. So you're looking forward to Spider-Man 2. Looking forward to what else is coming this year that you're looking forward to?
I mean, like I said, Star Wars is probably number one. Starfield's up there. I'm kind of looking at a list. I'm actually looking forward to Stalker 2. Warhammer.
Me too. But is that coming out next year? Do you think?
I think it comes out next year. I think it comes out towards the end of the year. I'm really looking forward to Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 because I really like the first one on the 360. So Dead Space. I mean, there's just a lot, bro. Not to mention Alan Wake 2. Oh my God, we don't know when that's coming. I'm assuming at the end of the year. There's just next year is kind of like seems like this is like the beginning of, you know, the generation. Like, right, we went through.
It does seem like it's starting now. Like,
yeah, because you know the pandemic delayed everything, right?
By 2 years, right? And we're 2 years
roughly
into the generation, so
now finally all these games are starting to come out. You know, so yeah, this year was kind of a slower year for me. There was a point in time where there wasn't really anything I was interested in playing on console, and I was kind of more just kind of reading.
Yeah, you were.
I was
reading like mad, bro. You went through all the Wheel of Time series again.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So, yeah.
By the way, Paris says hi to you. He says it's Christmas. Tell Rand to binge the holiday spirit into his heart.
Paris is here. He's everywhere, man.
He's everywhere.
To binge the holiday spirit into my heart.
And Dave, thank you for the $2. He says, thanks, Fonz, for my favorite AAA podcast. Wow, I'm AAA.
Ooh, AAA.
I thought it was more like single A. Definitely today I'm like, you know, single A with this StreamYard platform. Holy crap, this is
quadruple
horrible. No, I'm
like
trying
the initiatives
to be...
in Crystal Dynamics Perfect Dark. Quadruple A.
Yeah. You heard anything on Perfect Dark? How's that?
I mean,
faring?
Somebody hit up Jez and told Jez that development was going really good. Which, I mean, Crystal Dynamics is a great developer, bro.
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised that development would go really well.
Especially when we first heard about the whole Crystal Dynamics team coming in, everybody was like up in arms going, what are they doing over there? But now we kind of understand what the initiative are kind of about, what they're going to be doing there, right?
Yeah, yes.
So
Paris says he listens to everything. He's
everywhere. No, I see. He definitely is everywhere. And
definitely everywhere.
If you guys don't know who Paris Lilly is, he's, of course, a big-time podcaster, been around for many years, podcasting in the game. GTR, man. He's been doing his thing there with that outfit for years.
Yeah,
years.
Co-host of Kind of
years
Funny.
Or
co-host of the Xcast.
Crazy. But there's a lot of good people out there. In the chat, I see Gaz. He's saying, write your obituary now, Paris. Whoa, Gaz. Oh, Gaz, if you don't know yet, has turned full pony. He is now deep into the whole console war and pony aspect. All of his sauce videos are now going to go full pony. So expect him to wear that horse mask often.
He does it for fun.
But no, I'm looking forward to all those games too. For me though, for next year, it's definitely Starfield #1. That's top of my list. I'm really excited for that one.
Did somebody say Starfield?
Starfield. Yes, let the power of Bethesda consume you. Let it consume you. Yeah. Starfield is definitely going to be, I think, a fantastic game. I mean, it's Todd Howard's baby. Every time Todd Howard gets behind a single player project, RPG like this, it always is top level, in my opinion. I love the Fallout series. I love the Elder Scrolls series. I'm not big fan of Fallout 76, but that's different. That's that multiplayer thing that they tried, and that's better now, I heard, than it was when it came out. I don't know if you've ever played it, but supposedly it's better.
What game?
Fallout 76.
I have not played Fallout 76.
Yeah, I just don't care for it. But do you like the Fallout series and all that? No?
I mean, it's okay. I much prefer Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I like them both. I like them both a lot.
I'm not the biggest fan of post-apocalyptic settings.
I love it. I love that.
Give me
setting.
sci-fi, which is why I'm excited for Starfield.
Yes.
Because I love sci-fi.
I like post-apocalyptic. I love sci-fi, and we're getting a bit of both here with Starfield. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to go to a lonely planet and just sit there and watch the stars go by. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Just sit there and watch.
But the big question everybody has, though, Fonz, is will Xbox have games next year?
Yes, Starfield and Redfall. And possibly Forza Motorsport. And then they're going to have all these multiplats that I'm really looking forward to. How is anybody, what is that? What is that game by that Russian developer?
Oh, Atomic Heart?
Atomic Heart. How can anybody look at that game and not get excited?
Yeah,
that
the trailers
so
are
fun.
Really good and really cool.
Looks so fun. I can't wait to play that game. Atomic Heart looks good. What other multiplats do they got going into Game Pass day one, by the way?
Wolong Fallen Dynasty, I think?
Yep, the Fallen Dynasty game. I played the demo for that. I thought it was really fun. It's very Souls-like.
Yeah.
Which is, cool. I'm definitely going to play that game too. And again, right into Game Pass day one. So Xbox has a lot of games going into Game Pass day one next year.
They do.
It would seem. So
could be the biggest year for Game Pass ever.
Could be the biggest game.
If you're
Xbox in a while.
It's going to be because Starfield is releasing day one on the service, and like I mentioned before,
Liza P is another one. Boba Fett Gaming.
Liza P.
Yes.
Starfield's the biggest new IP, biggest game that Xbox has released since Gears 6 or Gears 1.
Liza P is also in Game Pass too. So,
yeah.
Man, next year is going to be a huge Game Pass year. This is why I think Game Pass is going to go up in price in the next 2 years.
I mean, the price will of course it's going to go up, inflation.
Yeah,
but here's the other question, Fonz. Here's the other
within a couple of years. It could happen next year. Who knows? But
it could happen next year. I would personally rather have Microsoft hold off till 2024. It would be
I'd personally like them to hold off forever. But
I'd like them hold off forever too. But
I understand.
That's not feasible.
I get it.
You just raised prices of the games. For whatever reason, you just came out and were like, raising the prices of the games to 70, which you knew was going to happen at some point, right? And it's just like everybody's been waiting for these games to hit for Xbox. It would be, I don't know, it would kind of just be everybody's like, all right, we're waiting. Finally, these studios are starting to put out some stuff, and you raise the price of Game Pass on us. Yeah. So I almost feel like they should go through this year, put out Starfield and Redfall.
What'd you say?
Starfield and Redfall.
Starfield. The greatest game you will ever play. Starfield. The game that will ruin every other game out there. Starfield. It will be here before you know it. All right.
Are you using that for your audition tapes for voice acting?
No, not at all. But I have done some auditions that are quite similar to that because they've asked for it. But that's actually going pretty good. And I don't say it enough, but it's just a small free-to-play game that I'm in right now. But you can download it on Steam if you have a Steam account. It's called Sands of Slumber. It's a little RPG, and I do have a character in there that is an ongoing character that I'll be in the next one as well. But it's just, again, small little RPG, but it's a start. Got to start somewhere in this business, and I'm having fun with it. Auditioning a lot. So
That's great.
yeah,
That's
it's
great.
fun. It's fun. But yeah, getting back to, them bringing out Starfield and Redfall and stuff. Yeah, I just think the multi-plats that they've got going on into Game Pass this 2023 are some huge ones. I wish they would have had some in 2022. I'm starting to look back at the whole thing that we've been hearing about through this ABK deal, and I really don't want to talk about ABK or any of that. But
Tune into Destin's channel for that if you want.
yeah, Destin, he's covering ABK like mad. He's got like 152 videos just on the deal alone. By the way, Risk It for the Biscuit, he says Starfield for $2.99, and that's $2.99 Australian, which is like $130 American.
Yeah.
So,
What is it, like didgeridoos or kangaroo butts or something?
Something. I think kangaroo pelts. Yeah, that's what
Something
he pays
like
in. But yeah, it's good to see you Risk It. I know he loves the time slot better, being at night rather than early. Because for him, it's like 5 a.m. when I was on at 2 p.m. my time. So it's definitely a little bit later in the morning for him. So he prefers it. What did we? Man, I'm all over the place today. Yeah, I lost my train of thought because I'm sitting here and I keep staring at this new format. I hate this. Next week I'll be on the old one. It's really confused me a lot today, staring at all this stuff. But again, it's not only that. It's just I don't know, something in me. I've just been, compelled to. I think Bethesda is really starting to seep into my veins again. And watching stuff on Starfield. I know the other day they just came out with another diary thing where they were talking about the mission structure and stuff. And I'm getting excited for Starfield. I really am getting excited. And I've been excited for it, Rand, but it's just, it's more and more every day. Like, I want to play that game now. I wish it came out in November. Like it should have.
Yeah, we all would have played it already.
Oh, Pixel Slappa. He had to say it. It's easy to confuse old folks.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's right. But what's not confusing? Next year, Starfield will be out, and you will not get to play it, sir. I will definitely tell them not to let you. All right. Okay. So he's not going to be able to play it. That's it. I'm putting him on the list, the naughty list.
No Starfield for you.
All right. No, God Howard is going to put you on the naughty list. No Starfield. Your IP is banned. Sorry. But you got replaced. Oh, Replace is coming. Neil B said that next year we get Replaced. Yep. And that's the 2D side scroller, kind of like that pixel art, which I'm not a big fan of pixel art, but this one looks kind of cool. I will admit.
The aesthetic is cool.
I think this is cool. It's got that whole cyberpunk aesthetic going on. I love that, the whole sci-fi cyberpunk thing. It looks really cool. Another thing about Starfield that I'm really loving is the fact that the soundtrack, which I was playing earlier, by the way, sounds amazing. Is it Enon Zur or Einon Zur? I'm not sure how you pronounce his first name, but incredible talent there. He makes the soundtrack for most of the Bethesda games and other games as well. Guy's amazing, man. Makes incredible stuff. But I can't wait to listen to that as well. Been listening to the song itself. Like, that song is beautiful. It's like 10 minutes and 40-something seconds, but great damn song. That song for Starfield is amazing. But anyways, besides that, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to next year. I think we're going to have a great year of gaming. What is PlayStation going to have besides Spider-Man 2? And what else we got for PlayStation?
Well,
wasn't there another one that they
have the deals with Square Enix for Spoken.
Oh, geez. Did you play that?
I did not, no.
Let me tell you about the demo. Trash. No, okay. No, I'm not going to trash it like that. Look, it's not for me. I'll say that. The demo, when I played it, and I put like 20 minutes into it, I didn't just sit there for 5 minutes and go, oh, this is trash, and put it away. I tried to learn it, play it. I got a grasp on the combat and stuff. It's just not very good. So much so that I was just destroying enemies, right? And this was on medium settings. And I turned it to hard because I wanted to see if they get tougher. They don't. The AI is still stupid. They hardly ever attack you. So I'm destroying things. It's just like they get buffed. So basically it takes longer to kill them, but they still just stand there. Like they're not really coming at you. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it just sucks, man. Like it feels dated too, the combat. And the only thing I will say about it that I did like is the traversal. I think running across the land and stuff, you feel like a superhero jumping over rocks and stuff. That's kind of fun, but the combat is not good. I don't know. It's just a poor demo, man. Like, and this is the game because it comes out like next month or.
Yeah, it comes out next month.
Yeah.
So they got that game. They also have Final Fantasy 16 in June.
Yes, they do have Final Fantasy 16. That's a big one.
I think that's going to be a good game, and it's going to be big. Other than that, that's it for announced stuff. Oh, well, they have the launch of PSVR 2 in February, and there's a whole bunch of VR games alongside like their first party like Horizon Call of the Mountain. So there's a whole VR stuff. Yeah. And then it's just Spider-Man 2 that's currently announced. Now, is that their whole schedule? Is that all the games that they're releasing next year? I don't know. I mean, they've talked about Last of Us Factions at Gamescom this year with Jeff Keighley. And Neil Druckmann did say that we probably would see it in 2023. The question is it going to release in 2023?
Yeah. Don Sicario says, who cares? Z's emoji. He's like, this is boring. He doesn't want to talk about PlayStation. Look, we're talking about games. That I know that, most of my content is more centered around Xbox, but I'm not really just an Xbox channel. I talk about PlayStation as well because I enjoy both platforms. Nintendo, not so much because I kind of grew out of Nintendo. I just don't care about Nintendo anymore. Yeah. And that's the sad part because, look, you had Call of Duty offered to them for 10 years, right? So you're assuming that they're going to have a console come out because, the Switch is getting a little long in the tooth when it comes to, it's not a great system. It's not very strong. So they've got to come out with something better. Do you think they will anytime soon?
Yeah, they will. The Switch Pro or the Switch 2's got to be on the horizon.
And it'll be as strong as an Xbox One VCR, right?
I don't know how strong it'll be. We're 5 years on the Switch. So you say 2024, that'd be 7 years. That's about usually the length of a gen, 6 to 7. So yeah, I could easily see a Switch 2 come in the next 2 years. So, hopefully it's more powerful. Hopefully it'll give you 30 frames that a lot of these people are asking for, hopefully that happens.
It's funny. I used to say, well, I'd buy a Nintendo if they just had more power in their consoles, but I buy them every time. Every freaking console that comes out, I've bought it. The only thing I didn't buy was the OLED Switch, but who cares? I've got 2 Switches. My son has one, but I don't ever play it. Never. Like, it's just not something.
Yeah, it's probably my worst. I bought the Switch for, I bought that and I bought the Pro Controller and I bought a couple games. So it ended up being like, I don't know, $400 or whatever. And I barely use it. I think I've used it a few times. It was just like, yeah, that's just a waste of money. But I'm not the type of person also like, some people will be like, we'll get rid of it and sell it. And then they'll go on social media and be like, I'm selling my thing or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I usually sold my consoles once the generation was over. Like, this generation ended, or the Xbox One PS4 generation ended, and then I had the Series X and PS5. Then I got rid of the PS4 and, the Xbox One.
Hargeet Shawnee says that Switch next gen should be around the Series S, at least, docked. That's what he's thinking. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but the thing is not very powerful now. It's basically like one of those. I had it too. It's like a TV You can play games on it as well, but it was like a TV tuner thing. I forgot what it was called, but I had one for a while, and it had like the same internals as the Switch. It's weak, man. It was like you play some PlayStation 3 type games on there, and it just didn't run very well. I don't know. It's just not good. I just think Nintendo needs to get with the powertrain as well. I say needs while they're like the number one seller ever, right? They can do no wrong. It seems like everything they put out is just sold well, their consoles, their games, even that Pokemon game that just came out. It performed like trash and people loved it. Like we're still playing it. So
yeah, people love Pokemon.
Yeah. My son said it was like the best Pokemon game he's played. And I was like, really? It looks like it performed awful. He goes, oh, yeah, it did. But you overlook that. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's what a lot of Nintendo players do, overlook stuff. But, oh, well, and pay $60 for old games. They do that too. But anyways, I don't want to get negative. I'm looking forward to some good stuff this coming year and the years after. But, Rand, this is pretty much the end of the show.
End of the show already?
Yeah.
We barely even started.
I don't like this whole freaking format or anything. It's just it's horrible. If
We
you've
still got
anything,
another 3 hours to go. What do we?
we don't do that here, sir. We don't do that. We don't do the 4-hour podcast. And honestly, there's nothing really else to really talk about. Well, let me ask you this, okay? Before we end the show, I want to ask you this. Can you think of a time? Let's do something fun here. Can you think of a time, maybe at Christmas, that was a really special moment for you that was gaming related at all?
Well, I mean, it's hard to pick that out because every Christmas, all right. So the way the Christmas works was, we'd wake up and we'd have this big Christmas tree, real Christmas tree, right? We always had a real Christmas tree.
Real tree.
That's
tree. Right.
And my mom was always kind of like, video games, shouldn't be playing them, right? So I never would really get presents. Like I'd ask for games or I'd ask for a system, and I really wouldn't get it for them. So growing up, I'd always would have to ask my grandparents for stuff. So we'd wake up and we'd unwrap our presents, but the real Christmas was when my grandparents arrived, because they would arrive in the car. And like a Cadillac, and the entire Cadillac was just filled to the brim with presents, right? So, and they would give us more presents than our parents gave us, right? And my grandma, every single year, was the one who would get me the NES games, or the ones who would get me the Genesis games, the one that bought me the Sega CD and the 32X. And it was funny because like when someone wrapped the NES, the NES boxes, right? Like you would know,
boy.
you see them wrapped, you know it. Be like, that's an that's
keep talking. I'm going to see if I could get something from behind the scenes here. But go ahead.
So eventually, I remember one year, my grandpa's bringing in all the presents, and it filled in the entire room, and it was so much stuff, and everybody's so excited. And I'm looking through stuff, and I don't see any game size presents. And I'm like, did they not get me anything? I'm not getting any games, because they used to get me 10 to 15 games every single Christmas, Fonz. I had 100 NES games. I had 100 Genesis games, right? And then, but I saw a lot of boxes, clothing boxes. I was like, no, I'm getting underwear or socks or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I finally opened up my presents, and I opened up all the ones I thought would be cool, and I had 5 closed box presents left to open, right? I started opening it up, lift up the lid, and what do you know is inside? The video games.
Wow.
They put the video games inside the closed boxes to surprise me, because I would always know what was what.
Yeah.
So, and I remember oh my God. And my mom, I remember looking at my mom. My mom just looked at my grandma with staring daggers at her, Especially when she got me because I asked for the 32X and I asked for the Sega CD. My mom said no, but my grandma got it for me. So those are probably my favorite memories for gaming was getting those things.
It's funny, and I've got it pulled up, but there was one year, it was 1987. I remember the year because this was the year after the NES had launched. And I remember I was asking for an NES, and, we didn't have much money. I mean, and I'll show a little, man, this is kind of embarrassing. Show a little video of me with the NES. And, we didn't have much money, as you can tell, but let me see if I can pull this up. See, okay, it's in a very little small window, but there's me, and I've got this NES. And don't ask me. Look, first of all, what the hell am I wearing? I know I was like 11 or 12, but what the hell was I? I just got up that morning. Okay, that's the NES box, but holy crap! Like the shirt didn't even fit. Look at that. I got man boobs for days. I mean, and the haircut. Why?
What year is that? What year?
1987.
87. How
My
old?
brother's sitting there watching me, get this NES, and he's, not even that excited, which is weird. And I look like I'm miserable, but I'm not. I'm over the damn moon. I'm loving it.
Yeah, look at the pants. You got one pant leg higher than the other.
My God, look! It's just like I rolled out of bed, and that haircut is pretty much the same haircut that it's given to all.
And Justin Bieber was rocking that haircut.
No. It's a bowl haircut, okay? And here's the thing. My father is Filipino, and he would cut our hair like this. That's how it was in our culture. Like he would cut my hair this way, cut my brother's hair this way. All the boys had the same damn haircut. So we had this helmet of a haircut, and the shirt is just so embarrassing. But there's my Nintendo. And I'm just like, yeah, I got it. Look at this. And my brother's like, what the hell's that? I was happy, though. That's all that matters. I was happy. I got a Nintendo. And, well, it is what it is. So there it is. I shared a little bit of a moment with you, Rand. Mm-hmm. But I was happy to get that because that year I remember that night, we usually opened up gifts on Christmas Eve. And I opened up all the gifts. We opened up all our gifts. And what I got that year was just like the main gift anyway, which I got a bunch of clothes and stuff like everybody else, socks and all this stuff. But I got a G.I. Joe Walkman, a freaking Walkman tape player, and it was G.I. Joe on the cover and stuff. And I was all happy with it. And I was so excited to get just that. And I went to bed listening to music and with that set and woke up the next morning and was totally surprised that we got a Nintendo. So it was just, I'll always remember that. And it was captured on film, which was interesting.
Amazing.
But, all the way back in 1987, kids.
87, I would have been
cameras.
like 6 years old then.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm old. Jeez. Make me feel even older. No. Wow. But Dead Time says he still gets socks. Yeah.
And I think you never stop getting socks.
No, you don't. Yeah. Matter of fact, I was asked by my kids and everything what I wanted for Christmas. I asked for socks. I said, I could use some more socks. I think everybody can use some more socks. You can never have too many pairs of socks. You always lose one anyway. I mean, you put it in the laundry, you come back, you put in two, you come back with one. It just happens. And I don't know why. Nothing else gets lost like that, but socks all the time. So weird.
It's very weird.
Anyways, this conversation's getting weird. It's just a weird show today. I don't know.
I take it you're not having a show next week?
No, it's Christmas Day that week. Of course, Sundays being Christmas, I will not be here, so I will definitely not be having a show.
And no show the week after too for New Year's Day? So you're taking 2 weeks
when's
off?
New Year's Day? When's New Year's Day?
Well, I mean, New Year's Day would be Sunday would be Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday.
Is it?
Yeah, because next week's Christmas Day, and then the week after would be New Year's Day.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I won't have a show, and yeah. So it'll be 2 weeks off. Just like I think the Iron Lords do the same thing every year.
Yeah, I think today was
Holiday.
their last show as well.
Yeah. So no show this coming Sunday or the next one, but I will definitely be back after that. And hopefully everybody has a great holiday. If you celebrate any of the holidays, hopefully you have a wonderful holiday. Rand, I hope you have an awesome Christmas and a great New Year's.
I hope you do too. You know, I just got a message from Zocker. He said he listened to half the show and said it was the best podcast ever.
Yeah, sure he did.
Zonka is a toddler.
That's what Zocker has to say. Now, me and Zocker right now have been talking a lot because we're both 49er fans, and they're doing pretty well, sir. So,
Yeah, well, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, and they're doing...
yeah, let's not talk about that, right? That's my wife's team, by the way, Chicago. That's where she's from.
Oh, so
Chicago.
she's... that's nothing good can come from that because they're 3-12, I think, or 3-13.
Oof, yeah, that's bad. Highlander001 with the $5 super chat says, my dad brought home a Pong cabinet as well as Space Invaders cabinet, Christmas of 77. Holy crap.
Damn.
Thank you for being older than me, sir. He got them from a local bar before it burned down.
That would be cool
That's
to get
awesome.
those.
That's awesome, man. I really, man, does he still have that? Or I'm sure he doesn't, but that would be cool if you still had those today. That'd be amazing. Anybody else in chat have a cool story like that? I don't know. That's a really cool story. But no, Rand, that's pretty much the show, man. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Let everybody know where they can find you. I'm sure they know where to find you. If they're on my little channel, they definitely know Rand Al Thor 19, the man with the million.
You used to have the button for
man
that.
with the million.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
See?
a clean sample.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
know if-
Listen to that. Listen to that.
The man with the million.
I don't even know if I could replicate that as well.
No, but where can they find you, buddy?
Yeah, if anybody hasn't checked out the channel, it's youtube.com/RandalThor19. Videos whenever I feel like it. Hasn't been anything recently because it's all just a bunch of just ABK stuff, and I'm just so over.
I'm so over that too.
I think I might maybe. I have a video idea for tomorrow, maybe for Tuesday. It really depends. But we got the podcast with Jez every Friday, mostly every Friday, sometimes Saturday or whatever. But we will be having a show. We're contractually obligated to have a show every week. So
yeah. Contractually
obligated.
Jez really writes that up, huh?
Well, no, it's more
Makes
like
you sign it.
the contract we signed with our audio provider basically said you have to provide a show every single week for 52 weeks.
Got you. Oh, you guys are big time. That's why.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, they're big time. They're rolling. They're rolling. Okay. All right. Highlander001 did respond. He says, my brother has the Pong and I have the Space Invaders. That's is
cool.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you got the better of the two, by the way. Definitely. Void Rat says, my uncle Dave used to fix arcade games. Used to go to my cousin's to play Space Invaders and Pong. He had both table machines. That's awesome. You guys had table machines at your homes. I used to go to the arcades to play that stuff as a kid. And yeah, very cool. Anyways, thanks, Rand, for being my guest today. I appreciate it, even though we didn't get to do it on the better format.
No 5 questions.
No 5 questions. I stopped doing 5 questions for return guests.
Oh,
I'm leaving it to first time guests. And I just, I'm still doing it for first timers, but yeah, I'm going to leave it for that. But seriously, I appreciate you coming on though, and trying to figure this whole thing out with me behind the scenes while we're before we were on live, trying to figure out what we're gonna do and the whole StreamYard thing. I appreciate you, man. So we were able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you
we'll
for
definitely
having me.
have you on again. I'll have you on again, but damn it. You need to get on camera at some point. We need you on camera, man. We've seen your face. You put your face out there all over Twitter. You need to get a camera, bro.
I'll go on camera.
Jez has a camera.
I'll go on camera when Gaz stops being a traitor.
You heard that, Gaz. Stop being a traitor so we can have Rand Al Thor 19 on camera. All right, guys. Until next time, game on.
Daily.